Hi all, I'm Guida and welcome to my final presentation. Today I'd like to share with you guys a few of the challenges that I've completed over the course of the semester, charting my mistakes as well as sharing ideas that I've had that have ended up working in the end. Before I start showing you examples of my work, however, I would like to take you guys through a few of the key takeaways from the semester. Number one, the idea of visuals and text mattering equally. As a technical writer, we have to make a decision of what the audience needs. In some cases, you might want to add a little bit more graphic design or visual design and be a little bit more concise with your instructions. Other kinds of instructional sets call for less photographs and need more description. It is our responsibility as instructional writers to understand what the audience needs. On this note, it takes me to the second point, that the audience is the priority. People ask me why I want to be a technical writer. It's so dry, they say. The truth is, it's because, when you have a gift, you should figure out how to share with the world and help people. This is a service to others, and I think it's really important for us to always remember that. Lastly, even though it is technical writing and a little bit dry, we are still creative writers. And we understand that it's okay to put your own voice in there. It's okay to still try to relate to the reader on a different level and maybe be a little bit more eloquent about that. And I think that this class has really allowed us to combine creativity with technicality in that way. So, moving on, the three projects I wanted to share with you guys were the visual-only instructions, the short game manual, and the Create an App challenge. For the visual instructions, I made a lot of mistakes in there, but I think I really did learn from them by the time I got to the short game manual because I was able to put in more text. However, I still had a lot of flukes in that challenge, and the most rewarding part of this class was finishing the Create an App challenge because I really felt like it had all kind of tied together in this neat little bow for me where I realized what Carly was really asking of us. And even though it wasn't perfect, I think that I came a long way. Starting with the visual-only instructions, backtracking here, I realized that there's a reason for an ingredient section in recipes. It's because people need to know all of the supplies, everything that is expected of them before they start the process of instruction that you've written. Another problem I had was visual quality. I didn't take very good pictures. I don't have a very good camera, so it wasn't entirely my fault. But in the field, that's not really an excuse. It's really important to know that your text as well as your pictures have to be clear and concise. Lastly, formatting matters. Be a perfectionist when it comes to creating an instructional set because everyone is going to notice even if you make a small mistake. It is really, really clear and unprofessional when you are not careful about how you're designing. Let me show you a few examples here. These are the pictures that I had chosen. They're just horrible. I don't even know what's going on here. We've got a net going into the water, but you don't really know what it's doing in there. Here we've got fish in two different jars. It's a little bit confusing because I never really show the two different jars first. So not only do I not have that ingredients section, I now accompany it with very blurry, horrible photos. Not okay. Next, we have a formatting option here. If you guys notice right there, I forgot to put a border there, or maybe it cut off when I put it into PDF form. Regardless, these are the kinds of nitpicky things that editors aren't going to want. Lastly, you have to be concise with your photos because I didn't show a supply section. I didn't show that you need a t-shirt and you need a colander to strain sand if you have sand in your aquarium. So Carly was really confused about what was going on in these photographs. If I had text to accompany them, it would have been different. But for this challenge, I did not use everything that I could have to explain what was going on. Moving on to the short game manual. I invented this game a few years ago with my friends. It's called Checkmate, and it's a party game for couples or any kind of pair of people that know each other well. And although it was fun to make, even having my friends proofread it, they were a little bit confused about it, and I had to send it in when I wasn't really prepared. Always proofread. This was a huge problem with not being prepared, was that if you have typos, it makes it really, really hard for people to understand what you're trying to say. On that note, put yourself in the shoes of the audience. If you're having a hard time explaining something, try to envision, okay, if I were trying to learn how to do this, what would I need? And keep it concise. Lastly, assess what information is necessary and what you don't need. I included some graphs and a couple of slides that just weren't necessarily because I wanted so badly to be clear, and as a result I overcompensated. Let me show you a couple examples here. Oh, this is just the design. This is the graphic design that I made for the cover, which I actually really like, and I think I had a lot of fun with that, and Carly did like this as well. However, I made a couple mistakes on this page. So this was what you need to play. It had all of the supplies. First thing first, I did not proofread. I don't know what index cards are. They're not a thing. Luckily, I included a photo so that you understand what I'm trying to say. But this is one of those inexcusable things where it was an easy fix and I missed it. Another thing was the playing pieces. Carly mentioned, I don't really know what you're talking about for the playing pieces. I see you have marbles. I don't know if you can use anything else, and that is the truth. I thought that maybe if I just put some random playing pieces, people would understand that you can really use anything for the game, but I should have specified that and said you just need little small objects to, to pass between each other for the game. So these are just a couple of technicalities that I just, I didn't really quite get to here. The worst idea ever. I made this chart because in every aspect of the game, people are doing different things, and I thought maybe adding this chart would make it easier. However, I put this chart before I even started the instructions. So imagine being a reader learning how to play the game. You open up a manual and it starts with this confusing chart saying the reader, veto, reaction card, response card, before you've ever heard any of these buzzwords. I really didn't need this. After the instructions said, it was pretty clear what you had to do. If I did really want to put this in, I should have put it after the instructions so that you already knew what was going on. I'm going to follow it up with the best idea ever. The drinking game. Now, I just wanted to make it a little bit of fun for people because it was a party game, but something that I liked was that I put it on the last page, which I felt was appropriate. This game can be played for any age group, but I didn't feel comfortable putting this kind of a page, front and center. I thought maybe it's something, back of the book, adults can go to, and I think that was kind of a clever little way to play it up, so I think I did really well with that. My last challenge I want to share with you guys was my Create an App challenge, where I created an application called Basket, which basically just helps you shop. You know exactly what you're looking for and what brand you're looking for at a store and what price it is before you even start shopping. And I'm really proud of myself about this. I don't know if it's maybe because I had more time to brainstorm for this, but it really turned out well visually and instructionally. A few things I learned: a little goes a long way. Keep it simple, keep it concise, know exactly what you're saying and why. Lastly, on the same note, the visuals must be clear and concise as well. Only put in the visuals that you need. Keep them short, keep them sweet. Again, a little goes a long way. And I'll just show you a couple of slides here before I'm done with my presentation. This was the icon I made right here, was the Basket app. I really, really liked this. It was simplistic, it was fun to make, and I thought that the font was really original and fun. Moving on to my home screen, which was kind of like the main page of my manual, I stuck to a simple color scheme. I thought, the way that the eyes are going to move when they read this, they're going to move down and then probably across a few times right here. So I wanted to put the screen on one side, using again the basket so it's a familiar icon, and just really simple, guiding you from icon to icon. On that note, to create a budget for this, I just made it as simple as I could. Again, as you can see, you're familiar with this budget icon, so then I use it again right here. Same color scheme, and then the sliding tool that I just kind of made up because that was the easiest way that I could portray what I was trying to do, and it would actually work for an app right here, that you can just slide this back and forth. And I think just keeping it simple with the graphics and everything worked really well. Before I end my presentation, I just want to say thanks to all of you for a great semester. I'm graduating, so I just thought maybe I would take this moment on the stand to share just a few of my thoughts and give you guys some advice. And the first one is find joy in all that you write. Doesn't matter if it's fiction, poetry, creative nonfiction, instructional sets, technical writing, writing a memo. Just have fun with it. Otherwise, no one's going to really appreciate it. You should really appreciate your work. Also, understand the importance of personal connections. Get to know the people that you care about and the people that you care what they think of your work. Understand what they need from you, and understand that they're people as well. Thirdly, be yourself. It doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing. Always be yourself and be 100% undeniably honest with other people about who you are. It'll make it easier for everyone else. And lastly, have faith in yourself, have faith in your talent. Writing is amazing, and we're all lucky that we get to do it. And even though sometimes things are challenges, just like I've just shown you, you can go from nothing, from blurry photos that mean nothing to anyone, to something that you're really, really proud of. And just know that we can all do it. We can all do a really, really good job of being ourselves and creating a product that people like because it's true. On that statement, I just want to say thank you guys again and have a fabulous Christmas break, and I hope that you enjoyed my presentation. Bye.